All right, today we're diving into something pretty profound. It's a book by the brilliant psychotherapist Irvin Yalom called Love's Executioner. And let me tell you, it's a book that really challenges you to look at your relationships in a whole new light, not just with other people, but with yourself. It might honestly change the way you think about love, period. I mean, think about it for a second. We're living in this age of constant connection, right? Endless swiping, DMs, followers. So why is it that so many of us feel more lonely than ever? It's this huge paradox, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack today. So this is the real conflict laid out right here. You've got your digital interactions over on one side, fast, kind of shallow, all about quantity over quality. But then on the other side, you have what we're actually craving, those deep, meaningful connections that are all about empathy and being real. And this is where Irvin Yalom's work comes in. It's like a roadmap for bridging that huge gap. And let's be honest, that gap between the digital world and real, deep connection, it feels like it's getting wider every single day. But what's so wild is that the wisdom in Love's Executioner, and this book was written decades ago, it gives us this incredibly powerful and frankly super relevant way to navigate all of it. I mean, our whole world, from our social media feeds to just how fast we live, it's all built for quantity, not quality, for breadth, not depth. It's like we're being trained to keep everything on the surface. And that can make building a real, intentional relationship feel, almost impossible. This isn't a new problem, of course, but it sure feels more urgent now than ever. So who's going to be our guide through all of this? It's Yalom himself, through this incredible book. And that title, Love's Executioner. I mean, come on, that alone is enough to make you just stop and go, wait, what? And this is the best part. This isn't some dry academic textbook. No, Yalom basically invites us to be a fly on the wall in his therapy room. We get to hear 10 real stories, like the one that gives the book its title, about a woman named Thelma. She's 70 years old and completely obsessed with this short, intense affair she had decades ago. She's been clinging to this fantasy for so long that it's literally stopping her from finding any real connection in her actual life. It's in these super raw, super honest stories that you start to see bits and pieces of your own struggles. Okay, so let's talk about that title, Love's Executioner. It sounds so aggressive, right? Like something destructive. But it's actually the complete opposite. Yalom's idea is that the therapist, or really the process of self-discovery itself, is an executioner of illusions. The whole point isn't to kill love, it's to kill the painful fantasies, the stuff like Thelma's obsession, that get in the way of experiencing the real thing. And that right there, that brings us to the absolute core of Yalom's work. The biggest things stopping us from connecting with people, they aren't out there, they're in here. They're the stories we tell ourselves. So check this out, this is a huge idea from Yalom. He says that our relationships, especially the difficult ones, often act like mirrors. They just reflect back our own personal fears, our own past experiences that we haven't dealt with, and just getting that's the first major step to actually changing what you see in that reflection. And this whole mirror idea is built on a few key insights. So Yalom says that, yeah, our emotional bonds are what make life meaningful, but our past is always unconsciously shaping those bonds. Remember Thelma? Her obsession with that old affair wasn't just a memory. It was a story she was using to dodge her fear of getting old, of dying. So therapy, in this view, isn't about fixing you. It's a tool. It's about building up that emotional awareness so you can finally see these patterns for what they are. And then you can actually start to grow. Okay, so we get the problem, right? But the big question is, how do we actually do anything about it? How do you change these patterns that are so deeply ingrained? Well, the good news is Yalom gives us a pretty clear path. And this might be the most important takeaway of all. According to Yalom, real change, it doesn't start with blaming your parents or your ex or your past. It starts the second you decide to take radical responsibility for your own life, for your choices, your actions, your happiness. It's a tough shift to make, sure, but man, is it empowering. He breaks this journey down into 3 main steps. First up, you gotta uncover your inner world. Think of it like being a detective. You have to bravely look at your own patterns and ask, why do I keep doing this? Step 2 is all about cultivating emotional awareness. That means getting past the automatic I'm fine and really figuring out what you're feeling. Is it envy? Is it fear? Is it longing? And then step 3, this is the big one, taking responsibility. It's about finally owning the fact that you are the author of your life story, and you and only you have the power to start writing a new chapter. So you do all this hard inner work. What's the payoff? Well, it brings us full circle right back to where we started. That search for real, deep connection. Because think about it, once you really understand your own fears, your own motivations, you can finally see other people for who they are, not just as mirrors of your own stuff. That kind of self-awareness, it gives you this resilience to handle all the messy parts of life. And maybe most importantly, it lets you finally show up in your relationships as your true, authentic self. So, to wrap this all up, I want to leave you with a question that comes straight from the heart of Yalom's work. If being love's executioner in your own life means choosing truth over comfort, what's the one illusion, that one story you keep telling yourself about your relationships that you're finally ready to let go of? Really think about it, because your answer, that could be the start of a whole new story.